Okay. Let's talk about the Modern Warfare beta. What's going on, guys? This is Purgatory, and welcome to my review of the first weekend of the Modern Warfare multiplayer beta. There's a lot of stuff I want to go through here. There's just a lot of things that I need to get off of my chest in certain ways of ranting, in certain ways of just like things I think they can improve on. And overall how I feel about the first weekend. So, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to get all my positives out of the way, because I do have a lot of positives. In general, I like this game. I think it has a ton of potential. There's a few things that get in the way, at least with the beta, and the beta is expected issues. And since this is a beta, keep this in mind. This video is specifically made to give them feedback on the beta. But I also want to give the things that I did like about the beta. So, this does not make it my final review of Modern Warfare. A lot of people are already assuming that this is one of the worst COD experiences ever when the full game's not even out yet. So, yeah. So with that out of the way, let's get the pros. So, number one, first and foremost, is the gunplay. Gunplay feels absolutely amazing, and that's all there is to it. Different ways of recoil that you can really get used to. It's very different when it comes to the gunplay. I fully love it. Next is graphics are amazing. These graphics are some of the best graphics that I've seen in a Call of Duty game. For sure in Call of Duty. I don't think it's the best looking game I've ever played, but it's definitely the best looking COD I've ever played. Lobby screens are optimized and well organized. I love what IW always does with their optimization in their games. I never had a single crash. I've seen people have crashes, but I never had one. Actually, I think I did have one blue screen. Can't remember, to be honest. I think I did have one blue screen, but that was like the most rarest occasion. Infinity Ward never disappoints when it comes to optimization in game performance for the most part. There's definitely some frame lag that I had. I'm not really going to go into detail with that. I just had some optimization issues, but most of all, it was pretty optimized for console. 6v6 flow, for the most part, is pretty good. When people are not camping, it's pretty good. The flow of 6v6, especially since they added the mini map, the flow got a lot better. There's a lot of campers and still people who just chill in areas, but that's kind of just how this game kind of is. But at the same time, people are actually moving around more, and I like to see that, so that's good. The outdoor part of this, by the way, this is not in no particular order. I need to really get those out of the way in the beginning, but this is in no particular order. The outdoor part of Vizier Cave is really good. I really like the traversal that you have to do. It's kind of crowded, meaning that it can get a bit campy, because there's just a lot of verticality, a lot of lanes, different little lanes that you can go through. But I thought the outdoor part, at least, of Azir Cave was really good. Headquarters on most maps is good. I like the length of it. I was always a fan of Headquarters, so seeing it come back to this game was really nice. On Grasna Raid, it's okay. It's not the greatest, but yeah. TDM flow, it can get kind of repetitive, but it does feel really good. It has really good flow to most of it. While it has a lot of lines of sight, Hackney Yard flows pretty well. Hackney Yard is possibly one of my favorite maps in this game so far. It's really nice. I like how it flows. The the type of rooftops that you can get up on, the areas that you can just go to and chill. There's a flaw I have with the map, but I'll get into that into the cons because it applies to all the maps. But next, the M13 and the MP5 are my favorite guns in this game so far. I love the way the M13 handles along with the MP5. The MP7 is also really viable. I like using the MP7 every once in a while, but the MP5 is my favorite. Sniping is fun. While the draw time on the base gun is really slow, you can actually get attachments that make it go faster. Unfortunately, we didn't get access to all the attachments, but from what we've played with so far, there is a little bit of mobility that you could give yourself access to, and that's a good part of, that's a really good thing. When the game works, it is fun. I will talk about that in the cons when I say when the game works. Night vision goggles mode is an intense change that I welcome. It's not really anything I've really seen before in Call of Duty, at least. The only time you've seen night vision goggles was in COD 4, I believe. So to see that they actually made a game mode based on the night vision goggles is really cool. So the map Gunrunner is amazing apart from some lighting issues, and again a little bit of a hint getting into the cons. The realism mode is also fun and intense. I like it. It completely takes out the HUD, meaning it permanently takes out the mini map, so you don't even, I think you get your streaks, but I don't think you even get the mini map, even if you get a UAV or not. So I'm not sure. I haven't watched. I never got a UAV in the realism mode, to be honest with you. And the last in the pros, and that is the fact that Infinity Ward actually listened to the community and put the minimap in. Yeah, they have it to where there's no red dots on the minimap, and I prefer it to have the red dots on the minimap, but the fact that we have the minimap and we can see where our teammates are on the map at all times, I am totally okay with that minimap. I'm totally okay with that change and that compromise. This is their game. I don't make the judgments. So I'm completely okay with it. Now, that's all my pros for now. Again, this game is pretty fun. I like the general parts of it. And when it's working, the game is incredible. I can see myself getting really good at this game, again, when I have good connection. So we're going to go ahead and go into the cons, and I need to say this again for some reason, but don't take this as I don't like the game. I don't know if I like the game or not yet. I am waiting to launch to see if I like or dislike this game. But so far, I am liking it. So, but this is feedback to give to the developers that need it. That's why there's a beta. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on to this. The first con, and unfortunately, I have to say this, the major amount of camping. When they added the minimap, while that did reduce it, it is still a big problem. People are camping in headies. People are putting down their little deployable shield and mounting on it and camping in the back of their maps pretty much. It's frustrating beyond fucking belief. It has pissed me off the most in this game so far. But when people are moving around, again, it is a ton of fun. But yeah, the major amounts of camping in this game, I wouldn't say it's worse than Ghost. But before the minimap was added, it was definitely worse than Ghost camping. So, and that says something. So, next is Domination. While I like the game mode, it is unbearable to play because of the spawns. Now, Infinity Ward has already made it pretty clear that they're aware of the spawn issues, and I hope they are, because the spawns in this game, I can't believe I'm saying this, but they were worse than Black Ops 4 beta spawns. An enemy was spawning right next to a person. I can't remember where the clip is. Somebody spawns right on top of an enemy, and they kill him because the enemy ran in front of them. The whole thing. The spawns are horrible in this game so far, and that kind of ruins the experience a little bit too, because imagine spawning in and somebody sitting there either looking at your spawn trapping, because it's incredibly easy to do it, or just the fact that you'll spawn next to an enemy every once in a while. I've had some of those issues to where I'll spawn next to the C flag on like raid or something, and then 5 other enemies will spawn on the other side kind of that little spawn. They're horrendous, and I've tried to put that lightly, but again, these are the worst spawns. I try to be nice about this stuff, but these spawns have made me so pissed. It isn't only just Domination, it's in Headquarters and TDM, but I've noticed it the most in Domination. 10v10, while I like the idea on paper, you can't always expect your community to play it properly. Especially on the map that we got as an example for 10v10, it is incredibly campy. People either sit in the back of the map, or there's no team play whatsoever. There was only 10v10 Dom and Headquarters, and again, there was absolutely no team play. And also, again, with the spawns, people were just camping. Everybody, since there's like so many players, people are freaking out. It's really campy. People are moving around now. Like, I went to go play the 10v10 mode since you can filter it now. And more people are moving, but people are still sticking to buildings because of that map, to be honest with you. But yeah, next, cave part of the Azir Cave. Again, talking about Azir Cave. Again, I like the outdoor part of the Azir Cave. But the indoor, like the actual cave part of the map is, to put this lightly, not great. It's really dark. The lighting is a huge issue, and there are a ton of head glitches and like little nooks and crannies that you can shoot through. It's one of the riskiest places to go if you're not sitting on a heady in that part of the map. So yeah, I at least either open it up a little bit or make it to where it's easier to see inside. And I'll get to that here in a second. Next is about the M4A1. A lot of people were saying it was like the best gun in the game. Quite, in my experience, it wasn't my favorite. It was a solid gun, but I did not find too much success with it. I found more success with the M13, and people were not liking that gun. Yeah, the M4A1 feels weak to me personally, so I don't know what they can do because other people are liking it. So I don't know. But definitely the AK-47, I feel like could use a mobility buff, like in terms of sprint out time, ADS speed, just a hair, at least the default gun. And then let the attachments improve it. It feels like while it does have a lot of power, it feels like it's almost unusable because it sometimes handles like an LMG, and that's saying something because the LMGs are incredibly slow in this game. The SA-87 I tried to use, and I tried to make it as fast as I could with the pistol grip and the attachments that we had the options to. I'm pretty sure you can make it pretty fast, but we're only capped to like rank 30 with that gun. So I really couldn't do much. I made it a little bit more mobile, but it's still very, very slow. So I feel like they should also give mobility buffs to LMGs as well. But then again, they're LMGs. That's their class, is to be slow, because they're heavy weapons. So, and now we're gonna get to some very important key points that I think Infinity Ward actually acknowledged some of these, but I want to get that out of the way because I need to vent a little bit. So, I already talked about the spawns. They need some work, but next is the respawn delay. To put it lightly, I'm trying to put things lightly, I severely dislike it. I feel like it takes me out of the game, and like I'm no longer like in the mindset of playing the game, and shoots me back in. I'm like, what's going on? Like, it reminds me of like it's trying to be Battlefield but not trying to be Battlefield at the same time. I don't like the respawn delay whatsoever. I feel like when you skip a kill cam, you should be able to spawn right back in. Connection. When I say that when the game works, it is fun, what I mean by that is the connection. The connection in this beta is atrocious sometimes. There's a lot of matches where I would experience a good connection, and I would have a good time when I had good connection, but there was a lot of times to where the game was almost unplayable with the connections that I had. Hit detection either being way off, that or I'll shoot first and die first. Sometimes people will tank my shots, and sometimes people will just like I'll barely look at somebody and they come around the corner and I'm already dead. I don't even have a chance to react to those people. With the time to kill being so fast in this game, I feel like it's actually a little bit slower than what we're thinking because of the connection issues. Like with the connection issues, it feels so fast. Really need to put some work in over there. So yeah, that's one of my biggest complaints is the connection so far. So I really hope they have that fixed by launch, or at least by weekend 2. Or if not, by weekend 2. The lighting issues. They're everywhere. Mostly when it comes to peeking into buildings or peeking out of buildings. It was mostly of peeking into buildings. It's so tough to see. It's almost not worth peeking a building in this game. Whenever you look through a doorway, it's dark. You can't see people. The only thing you're relying on is if you see a name tag pop up. But even sometimes that won't be enough time to tell you that that person's there. So the lighting issues, they actually made note of this. They're actually fully aware of the lighting issues in this game, which I'm really glad about, but I'm still keeping it a con because it's like Battlefield, kind of like, actually no, it reminds me of a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege's lighting issues that it had before. Like, it's pretty bad. It was almost, yeah, again, it's almost not worth peeking a window or a door, because chances are you could get shot at from there and you're like, what? Again, they made a lot of, they really made it clear that that they know about it, and I'm glad to hear that they know about it and that they're listening to us, to our feedback. So I really hope they have that fixed either by weekend 2 or by launch. It's beyond frustrating. So, and finally, with these cons at least, I'm going to talk about the sprint out times. I feel like some of them are pretty brutal. Granted, we did not get access to all of the attachments in the game so far, but with the stippled pistol grip, it does reduce your sprint out time by a ton, but it's such a crutch attachment, to be honest with you. But even then with that, I feel like sometimes the sprint out times are just insanely brutal, especially with the desync in this game. I feel like the sprint out times wouldn't be that bad if like you had a good connecting lobby. And there was a lot of times where the sprint out times weren't too bad for me, but specifically with ARs or with LMGs and ARs, that's where I think it's a little bit brutal. The SMGs, I say, could be reduced a little bit because they feel kind of slow too. But I would say definitely ARs and LMGs, the ADS sprint out time really needs to be reduced. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for my feedback video. I'm going to give like a final feedback video of everything. I'm trying to compile everything into one list after weekend 2. The beta, by the time you're seeing this, the beta already went offline for the few days, and I think it's gonna be back online on Thursday. So yeah, and the other videos you're gonna be seeing for the rest of this week, all on Tuesday and Wednesday, are Modern Warfare gameplays, and Thursday I might post a Modern Warfare gameplay as well. We'll see, but I will definitely be streaming it again. Anyways, hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Make sure to subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. And comment anything that you would like to give feedback to IW about in Modern Warfare. I love you all. Have a great day.